Fast food workers, what menu item should everyone avoid from where you work? Story 1. Worked Circlec for 3 years. Coffee is surprisingly good and machines were well maintained, but the cappuccino/iced coffee machine was disgusting and impossible to clean despite best efforts. Lots of tiny parts where powdered drink mix could sit and rot. My location was next to a university and we had a regular who was an engineering professor. Once he came in and watched while I was trying to clean the cappuccino machine, and said he should use it in class as an example of poor design. Story 2. I used to work at a froyo shop. If you see a topping and think I've never thought of that being a topping for froyo, you probably aren't alone. Things like Fruity Pebbles were just put back out every morning, getting older and older because no one ate them. Story 3. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese years ago, and while the pizza was good safe, it's pretty tough to screw up pizza, but the salad bar would be a pass. Adults and kids would just toss the tongs and spoons all over the salad bar, letting the handles fall into the food, getting all the different vegetables and dressings mixed together. All this at one of the grossest places on earth, where they are putting their hands all over video games, the ball pit, pizza, and around again. At the end of the night then we would flip all of the salad bar vegetables over into fresh containers and top them off for the next day. They did get thrown out every few days. If employees ever made ourselves a salad, we would make it from the ingredients in the fridge that were not yet out on the bacteria bar. Story 4. I worked at Chipotle in 2019. At that time, everything was fresh and I always trusted it. Right after opening, the meat is usually left over from the night before, but it was still good, and I personally didn't think that was a bad policy as it reduced food waste. We would clean the restaurant top to bottom, corner to corner every single night. Post-COVID, I wouldn't eat anything from there. Nothing is ever clean anymore, and I know from others who still work there that their standards have significantly declined. Absolutely disgusting for increased prices, decreased quality, and smaller portions. Story 5. So, in the late 90s I worked at a particular Burger King. The shake machine was legitimately broken for about 2 years. The store manager kept the restaurant and the kitchen very clean. One day someone saw a single roach, and she freaked out. Had the exterminator company come out, they figured out that they had nested in the shake machine motor insulation. Just to remind you, it had not been used in about 2 years. They rolled it outside, put a line of some sort of gel around the outside of the machine on the ground, opened the covers on the sides and sprayed something out of a can. A lot of it. I saw thousands of roaches drop out of this machine and scurry away, but they hit the line of gel, went about another foot and all died. They never used the shake machine again anyway, but it was insane. Bonus stories because the video is too short. Story 6. Worked at a Bojangles. I didn't notice much issues with the ice, but I know in general that ice machines are an issue. Chicken. For being a fried chicken place, the fresh fried chicken, I'd avoid that. The tenders, supremes, and Cajun filet are all fine, those are frozen and just fried. But the legs, wings, breasts, thighs, those come fresh raw, and get marinated. The issue is, sometimes the store orders too much. Maybe you plan for that Friday night football game that got rained out and now you didn't have that influx of people. Or, you didn't plan enough for Sunday, because it's the summer and families are spending their time at the beach. But it rained and their plans got rained out and they all came to Bojangles for a tailgate special. So you ran out, panicked, overordered the next week, and it's sitting in the cooler. I've seen green chicken. We've fried up green chicken. We've feared getting written up if we refused to serve it and if we did something that would cause it to get thrown out. The above issues, those happen. You order enough to prepare, but you can't prepare for every issue. That's why you're allowed to waste food. Throw it away, it went bad. Heck, you might even be able to argue that it went bad from the vendor and you didn't realize it until you opened the box. But instead everybody is afraid of losing their job. From the crew member to the manager, that it's easier to just cook and serve it, and maybe serve it at a discount as a manager special. Story 7. I worked at Popeyes as a teen. Chicken came raw and was cooked fresh. Never saw an issue with old chicken because it was rotated as new batches came in. Chicken comes fresh, and we marinate it in seasoning for 24 hours. Then it's lightly floured, dipped in batter, floured again, and fried. All I remember is that we rarely changed the oil in the fryers. It was like once a month maybe. Other than that, basic handling of food was relatively safe and hygienic. It's always the drink machines that are the most disgusting. Edit. Now that I think, the fryer oil could get pretty nasty too. Sometimes flies or gnats would get in there. Good shift managers required us to replace the oil if that happened. But the reality is sometimes those flies were left there. But not sure if there's a whole lot of risk of disease from frying chicken in oil tainted with a fly. The best Popeyes chicken you'll ever have is coated in flour. Excess flour is carefully shaken away, then it's dipped in fresh batter, put back into the flour, shake excess flour away again and then fried in fresh oil. You have a higher chance of getting this if you go not too long after opening. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. If you have a story of your own, leave it down in the comments below, and perhaps you will get featured in a future video.